Congratulations and salutations. My name is Mark Monlux of Monlux Illustrations, Home of the Creative Mind, and you are watching Epic Sketch Time. We meet every Monday at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. Feel free to sign up. Go to the link in the doobly-doo down below. And with me today is Bill Morris and Ian Castruita. I killed it. Okay. Just for that, Ian, you get to go first.
Oh, do I? Oh, hey, everybody. My name is Ian Castruita. I am an illustrator, graphic designer, and cartoonist working out of Tempe, Arizona. You can find my stuff at unfedart.com for my webcomic, and otherwise iancastruita.com. Maybe I'll spell it later if you want to look at my portfolio. Thanks for joining us. Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm an illustrator and cartoonist working out of Seattle, Washington. I can be found for my webcomic at rhapsodies.wpmorse.com and for all of my professional material at wpmorse.com.
The reason I was a minute late letting you guys in was because I just received an email from Grit City Comic Book Show. Grit City used to be called the Jet City Comic Book Show, but that's back when it was up inside Seattle, known as Jet City. Tacoma's nickname happens to be Grit City. So after 5 years of having the convention down here, they thought maybe a name change was in order. And of course, that's right when this branding happens is when COVID hits. And so they had, their normally was scheduled for either October or November, but they have decided today to go ahead and cancel this year, which I think is probably the best solution because there's really no way of telling which way the wind's going to be blowing these days.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, and another thing that was also grabbing my attention, if you didn't get this, if you subscribe to this Sticker Mule notification, they are offering a really good sticker deal. 50 stickers for $9.
Ooh, what kind?
Die cut.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
I decided that I immediately went into my archive of stuff I've just been drawing and decided to do one of the mermaids. I remember taking the Starbucks logo, drawing sort of like little scowling eyes on it, and also adding the balloon bubble bend the knee. Or bend the knee. I think it might be just a little too slow on the Game of Thrones reference. But anyway.
I don't know what I'd be doing at the moment if I did it, though. I've been, though, if anything, I was playing around with some demon designs the other day.
I almost went with the mermaid that was dressed like a nurse and thought about, putting those out there because, the whole front line with the COVID thing, but people wouldn't figure out the mermaid angle. So,
Hey, Mark, you said this deal, is it for current customers? Because I'm on the website, I don't see anything.
What you need to do is you need to sign up to their email list. What I'll do is I'm going to go into my email right now and copy and paste that link into the chat. Okay, Sticker Mules almost free this week.
Oh.
So let me copy and let's see if this will work. Oh, that's the invitation. Where's the chat? There we go. Yep, that didn't work. Hang on. I'll actually,
Yeah, just go into their die cut section. 50 stickers usually is $57, so that's a hell of a deal.
yeah, let me see if this, I'll try, let me try this link. Try that and see if that works. It might just provide a link in through my email account with them. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. They gave me a copy link thing here. Let me try this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that looks like it's a. So try that link. Does that link work for you?
Yep, $9 for 50. Custom 3-inch by 3-inch die cut stickers. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty. Normally, when they offer this deal, it's for like a $20 or $30. But I guess a lot of people are really cutting back. They were last month. They were doing for a week straight. They did an offer every single day, and they went through the range of all their stickers. Their holographic stickers, their die cuts, their labels, their KISS labels, or their KISS cuts. They've got a variety of them out there. But hey, you really can't say no at this low.
Oh, definitely not.
Now, what they will let you do is they'll let you do a second order on top of this order, and they'll let you do a discount on that.
Okay.
And sometimes on top of that I'm not sure if you can do it or not, but occasionally if you do recommendations and things, they'll give you like a $10 off code.
Okay.
And, I don't know if you can apply that after a discount has been already applied, but the discount is fairly good. I mean, it's not as good as, one of their normal offers, but I have taken care, when you're saving so much initially on the first sticker, to get at least a discount on the second part of your order for another design is at least something. And made it manageable. And at this price, I almost thought about doubling up, but I thought, I've been I tried to have a little piece of artwork ready to go the next time I get a contact from them out of the blue.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, because unfortunately, all of my mermaids were watercolors, so that makes it not appropriate material for this. And I don't think any of the mermaids I've been posting on Patreon really hold up as a sticker material.
Speaking of Patreon, I've decided to do something new with my Patreon account. My website for the Return of Stickman has been inactive for the last 4 years, but I have over, almost 2,000 Stickman strips. So I thought, you know what? I'll just start posting those 5 days a week. As for people who are signed on, strictly for people who are in the Patreon account, since my website for that is down. And that might be something. It's something I've already done. I don't have to redo anything. I think they're all GIF files, then I'll probably have to convert them to JPEG.
No, Patreon handles GIFs just fine. I post Rhapsodies. The Rhapsodies I post for GIFs.
Rhapsodies are posted as GIFs?
Yeah.
GIFs, when you post them on Facebook,
don't get me started on that. They expect it to be a video.
So there's like a new format that It's not JPEG. It's something else. I just came across it the other day, but it's like an optimized image format that Google came out with, and it's. Oh, hold on a second. My Google Home is talking to me.
Oh,
I've been called into the other room, guys. I'll let you guys chat. I'm going to mute and be back in a moment.
okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if you know about it, but it seems like I was trying to get used to doing everything in either JPEG or PNG, and now there's like this new image format from Google. Let me see if I can find it.
I mean, I only do GIFs because that's the smallest format that you can put when you're just doing strictly black and white. You can make them tiny and not take up too much space on your page. Yeah. Though all of the other problems of GIFs come up, so I've been cutting back.
So this new format's called WebP. And I say it's new to me. Maybe it's been around for a while, but I just put a link up for anyone who's curious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been looking at my websites, and one of the things that you need to consider with your website is how fast they load, and that's actually affecting like your Google page ranks and all that stuff. So so I've been diving into that, and WebP is apparently optimized for faster speed, and like the images are smaller, yada yada yada. But yeah, it's just aggravating because you think you get so far with just like designing a website, getting it up, and it's like, no, you're only halfway done. Now you have to.
Oh, it never ceases to annoy me whenever something I work with becomes obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's SEO, there's page load optimizations, and just.
Oh, I've been going to SEO groups for about 2 years now,
really?
trying to improve my technique, but it's really hard to maximize SEO when pretty much all that your material is text related. I mean, between tagging everything in the background, I these days my tactic is pretty much sticking a blog entry onto everything on the strip, though. Yeah. This is probably a good incentive for me to start shopping around for a new theme on my web page, but it's hard to do the blog strategy on that because it's maximized in such a way that it's pretty much just the picture, and while there's room for the text on it, it just gets in the way in the long run.
Well, I haven't dived into Tuchecki's SEO. I've just gotten the website up, and now I'm trying to optimize it for mobile viewing, which means I have to break all my comics into panels, and that's a huge mountain that I have to overcome before I do anything else. But I know when I was using Comic Press and Comic Easel, there was things like putting in the script for the comic so that it was like embedded in the site, and you'd have like text for all your comics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen that for Tuchecki yet, and I need to look into that.
Yeah, I've been reluctant to go into Tuchecki because of what you just said, the whole chopping things up thing. I mean, I have just way too many archives for that.
Yeah, so what my plan on doing is I'm gonna upload. I mean, I have uploaded everything, but there's just like a single setting in Tuchecki where it says, okay, if I switch to mobile, I'm gonna go panel by panel instead of like a full comic. Unfortunately, to get there, you have to have everything loaded up. Otherwise, if you hit that toggle, it's not going to say, oh, you don't have panel by panel, so I'm just going to default to the full comic. It's going to show nothing, which I should just email the developer and ask him if that's something that he could change. But my solution is to upload full versions of the comic into both the mobile and the desktop version, hit the toggle, and then as I go along, day by day, and I break up panel by panel, I'll go post by post. But that way, you know, as I update it, the panel by panel versions, they'll be ready to view right away on anybody looking at mobile.
Mhm.
And then I'll just work my way. I'm certain I don't have as big a backlog as you do. I think my archive is like 200 comics.
Yeah, whereas mine is getting very close to 4,000.
Yeah. So
I mean,
for you, I mean, it's probably not worth going that far, but I mean, Tucheki has other reasons that it's interesting to use. Like it has, well, I mean, it's for me, the big reason, because I liked Comic Easel and I liked Comic Press. They just weren't getting updated, and I think the developer just gave up. I don't know
yeah,
why.
well, I don't know why either, but I can guess. The guy, I've texted the guy who maintains or used to maintain it. Is really good people and labor of love, but at the same time, only so much hours in the day, especially when it's a charity.
Yeah, and it really didn't need to be. Like he had a Patreon account, and
Mhm.
I was happy to support him on a Patreon because I mean I looked at it as like, you know, an investment in my business. Like I want a comic audience, and you know I want Patreon supporters, and so why not pay for the web theme and everything? But even that, like I was lucky to get results as far as like, you know, feedback and tech support questions and stuff, which was the whole point of his backing.
Mhm.
And it just got to the point where you'd see that the plugin on WordPress hadn't been updated for a couple of years, and that's a huge security concern.
Oh, tell me about it. It's sort of
He
I mean,
was telling you about it.
I mean, at the moment, the only recurring thing I get is that there is this one ancient comic strip that gets spammed, and it's the only one that gets spammed, and I do not know why.
So what's the plugin you guys were talking about for WordPress that's good for creating
This
a
is the
webcomic?
new webcomic theme that Brad Geiger was talking about.
It's called Tucheki.
Tucheki? Or
Yeah,
Tucheki?
I'll get a link up. It's still, in my opinion, it's still, you know, a little fresh, and I think there's a lot that could still be worked on. But as a person who's bought the pro version, I can tell you that the developer has been pretty responsive, and I asked him about some customizations to my website that weren't easily available through just like the regular design features in WordPress, and he said that he was willing to help me out on that. So uh, I think you know, well, we'll see. But I mean, one of the reasons I got into it, to go back to what Bill and I were just talking about, was when I heard Brad Geiger talk about it on Comic Lab, his podcast. He said that, you know, this developer was focused on maintaining this as a product. Like he was invested in it. He was going to keep on working on it. You're going to see, like, you know, fresh versions of it. It wasn't just something that, you know, is uh, somebody did as a kind of like a hobby. And that's what I need, right? Because like I said, I want to take my comics seriously, and I want to invest in it, and it's just tough to find options for web comics. I think Squarespace might have like a web comic theme that I've heard of, but I don't know anything about it. So I don't know. It's just, it used to be that, you know, you'd be fine with a blog spot, right? You know, and that was it.
Yeah.
But those days are come and gone.
So how much is the pro version? Is it a one-off or a subscription?
It's a annual fee. Let's see. By today, you're looking at $79 for a year. So that adds like Patreon support. Like say I wanted to make you know, a paywall for my archive. So if you wanted to see my archive, you'd have to be a Patreon supporter, which was what I wanted to do. But then I realized I don't have that big an audience, and I'm probably better served by getting more people, reading my comic as opposed to trying to say, oh, it's really nice and fancy behind this paywall. I don't think that's going to entice more readers.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about because I noticed that Geiger does it. And
Yeah.
But Bill, you have a huge backlog. I wonder if it's possible to go in and have an archive of like chapters that can only be accessible.
Yeah, you can do that with Tucheki. Yeah.
Yeah, because Geiger has a pretty big archive. I mean, Evil Incorporated, before his reboot, has about at least 2,000 strips.
Well, I know he definitely puts a paywall for his not safe for work stuff. So, but as he should. I mean, let's be fair.
Now, I've been hearing that a lot of people that have not safe for work stuff actually develop a pretty fast readership.
Yeah. I don't think I ever see myself doing that, but
it's weird. I have some not safe for work material I've gotten when I've been especially lonely, but that or bored, or in my opinion, I have to confess, there's nothing more.
Bored, lonely. Oh man, these excuses are just piling up, Bill.
So pretty much all the time, right, Bill?
Oh man, we're really picky on you, Bill, today. I'm sorry about that.
Says
well, I know for my side, back when I was trying to get my master's in illustration, I was working on a comic with a writer who was really pushing me to do nudity in some of the panels, and I told him, like, from the get-go, I was like, I'm uncomfortable with that. Like, I think it might hurt my chances if I want to do like children's book illustrations and stuff like that, which in truth probably isn't the case, but yeah, I kind of have this idea of my brand as a whole, and I just don't know if I could take the step that Geiger did.
Yeah, because that's an interesting question. Have I recommended that illustration group to you?
Not safe for work illustrations?
No. Just a second.
Oh, please tell me.
Yeah, tell us all, Bill.
It's a normal illustration forum.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, it might be, as far as maintaining one's portfolio, it might be a viable question to bring up there. Hence the point of of it being a forum.
Yeah. So this is a Facebook group, or
no? It's their own forum, and he might have a Facebook page, but it's mostly, it goes with his podcast, and they have a critique group every Thursday night, which is very useful.
Yeah, I just have a login page. Is there anything about the group like that just outsiders can look at? No.
I'm sorry.
illustrationdepartment.com. Let me see what I could just do. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Just illustrationdepartment.com.
Mm-hmm.
Is a global leader in e-learning for illustrators.
And admittedly, the group is almost exclusively children's books, but
okay,
I've seen some magazine work in there as well.
So you found out about them via their podcast?
Yeah, Ed the guy who runs it is a friend of Ed Shem's, and he recommended it to me.
Great. Okay.
So what did you guys think of the Graphic Artists Guild pricing game that was held last couple weeks ago?
Oh, I enjoy it. I was just kind of shocked at like how low the prices were compared to what I would have, what I would have quoted. So I mean, it either says that I'm like out of touch, or I need to understand the nuance, because a lot of those situations where, like for yours, right? It was like a mom and pop shop, and for the other examples, there was like, I don't know if it was just like the situation was such that you wanted to lower your price or whatever, but I mean, for me, I have these spreadsheets, right? And it's all based on how my expenses are every month and annually, and then I know how many hours I can work, and I divide that up and I get like an hourly rate, right? And then I have other spreadsheets that are kind of like, okay, it's taking me this long to work on a project usually, and so I have this general kind of range that I say, okay, based on history and based on what my minimum rate needs to be, this is how much I charge. And even then it was high, and I was like, crap. I mean, what am I doing? So I think the more of those I see, the better sense I'll get. But up to that point, it was just using pricing and ethical guidelines as trying to get myself a baseline of, am I in the ballpark? Am I doing this proposal thing correctly?
Well, I would like to see it be done more often.
Yeah.
Back when I was a member of the Society of Professional Graphic Artists, that was sort of like our show and price was like the kickoff that we did at the beginning of every meeting. Some guy would raise his hand, we go into it for 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes later, we knew the whole thing. And this was typically happening while everybody was eating their lunch. And then we go into the subject of whatever the lunch was with our keynote speaker or whatever topic speaker. And those were some of the best luncheons ever. All these guys had been in the industry for decades already, ever since World War II. And being able to talk to them and pick their brain, and it was the highlight of my month was going to those luncheons. So what would
chance I could see what you guys are working on?
Sure. I'm pretty much, at the moment I'm playing catch up with the strips, but, and so at the moment I'm still just transferring stuff I've done on Procreate into the comic format. And Mark, you have us locked out if I want to show it.
Oh, my apologies. I always keep it locked until we start, just in case.
Okay.
It should be good now.
Great. So anyway, nothing impressive right now. As a matter of fact, this was a case of bad planning where I had pretty much, this is half of a strip of art that I did yesterday, and then I had a better idea of how to turn it into 2 strips, and so I caught myself splitting it down the middle, and I was very frequently these days I do most of my preliminary art on Procreate and then move it into Clip Studio Paint to ink.
I can show you guys one of the comps I've been doing for this book that was not accepted.
Oh, right. I like that one. You showed it yesterday.
Yeah. So, but I can't show you the comps that have. Most of my initial first comps were accepted right off the bat. Some I've been going through revisions. Now, one of the things I have in my contract is that when I'm doing multiple comps like this, if the client chooses one comp over the other comp, he doesn't own the comps. I own the comps.
Yeah.
So I can draw pictures from them later on.
Okay.
And which led to what that was one of the reasons why that particular client, they knew I liked the logo, or rather the mascot character of the robot. I said, oh, I really like drawing that robot. I think I'll finish drawing him out. And they said, would you? Well, hold on. We're thinking about buying that as a mascot. I said, well, you better do it before I decided to make something out of it.
Right.
So working with that couple was really fun. There was a lot going on to that project that I wasn't talking about. The group that I'm part of down here, CLAW, the Cartoonist League of Absurd Washingtonians, which has since become the CLAW Artist League, for whatever reason, I don't know, because new people have to rename stuff, make it their own. Anyway, the CLAW had a comic book store that we used to go to all the time. Well, that comic book store shut down during the last big recession. And it was sort of like our home away from home. So we were looking at possibly finding a new venue spot to do the 24-hour comic challenge. And while I was talking to these guys about the logo and finding out how they were structuring up, and they were giving me tours of their spots, saying, oh yeah, we want you to come in and do events here, come in and do gamings, or they would sell table space, but you could, grab any game that they had in their archives, which was extensive, and just pull it off and play with it. You didn't have to buy it, which is a great way for people to say, oh, I want to buy this game for myself to play at home later on. Do a little test drive with it. But that store became a second home for the cartoonists. And not only was I selling my merchandise there, but the group was selling its merchandise there. And so it was being a revenue fund for that. It was also being a revenue stream for other members of the cartoonist group. So there was a lot of community building going on besides just the logo work and the money I was making off the top of it. So additional work is always good, but so I'm going to suggest to Stowe that maybe we have a monthly pricing game as part of that meeting, or maybe even the focus of it, because right now there seems to be too many gatherings that are like this one, which is just illustrators talking to each other and saying, oh, COVID this. And
there's one going on right now, right, for the guild.
Is there? Bill, you're the guild guy. What's going on right now?
Oh, just a second.
Was it the Designer's Corner?
Maybe.
Or is that Wednesday tomorrow?
Just a second.
Because I thought that only happened once a month.
So did I.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw something today. Is it the Creative Collab? Is
that's late? That's usually at noon, and here we go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I get your point. There's a lot of just hangout groups, which which is fine. I don't mind. But yeah, I like
Oh yes,
structure.
yeah, it was Designer's Corner.
And it was today?
Uh, wait a minute. It says no.
Well, it says every Wednesday, so probably.
Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. The parent. No, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, every Designer's Corner at noon.
But just like looking at the Eventbrite page, I see Freelance Fandango, Designers Corner, Creative Collab, Art Party, and then a member forum. So I haven't attended any of those, but I'm guessing 4 of those are just people working on stuff and talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, not a bad thing. One of the things I'm enjoying about this other group that I've been participating in is it's a mastermind group. So you
Oh, I like mastermind groups.
yeah, this is my first experience with one. So I paid to join, and I think that's kind of an important part of it, where you really feel invested in putting in the time and making the effort, and you know that the other people that are in the group are of the same mindset. But I was I can't remember how I became introduced. I think it was through a YouTube video. There's a branding, I guess, guru or whatever you want to call him. Used to be in the corporate side of things, and then started his own firm a few years ago. His name's Philip Van Dusen. He has a YouTube channel, and from that I signed up for his newsletter, which has been really interesting. And I always find out like really cool tools and just like stuff, because he usually puts like a resource link of five or so links on every newsletter. And then when he said he was coming out with this mastermind group, I knew that it was going to be a cheaper way to have access to him, as opposed to just paying directly for consulting, which was going to be much more expensive for me. So I thought it was a good deal, but it's been really cool. I have contacts now in Australia, New Zealand. The rest are like over on the East Coast, but all of them are kind of like different walks of creative business, and each with their own situation and questions and everything. But every meeting, to kind of circle around to what I was getting to, is there's 2 people who have a hot seat, and they have to say, okay, this is the issue I'm working on. And then the rest of the group tries to figure it out for them, or, at least give you ideas and direction and advice. And then every week you're supposed to share with the group a certain set of goals, or it could just be one goal that you want to achieve during the next week. So it's constantly focused on, pushing yourself and your company forward, and trying to handle problems directly, which I like. I think I could definitely use more of that. What mastermind groups have you been in, Mark?
Let's see. There was one I was in with for graphic facilitation, but that kind of fell apart when the Google Hangouts stopped doing its thing.
Huh? They didn't just switch to Zoom or something?
No. And also the gal who was leading it got sidetracked because she became very busy with work, and she was the one with the Zoom account. This was like a year or so before COVID hit. You remember how long ago it was when we were still using Google Hangouts for this group.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And thinking, who would want to possibly spend any money on Zoom when you have this for free.
Well, I think now Google came out with they've had Meet for a while, and that's MEET, not the not the deli product, but it was just for their business customers, and now I just noticed that Google Meet is integrated into Gmail, so I don't know if they're kind of bringing back Hangouts, but in a different way.
I think there is another one, because that illustration group uses it for their critique group. At least I think though I'm not sure if I'm getting it mixed up with another one that one of the other professional groups I'm on uses. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, it's that's Google. It was Google Meet.
So what was the other professional group, Bill?
Oh, it's that coffee in the morning thing.
Oh, 1,000 cups of coffee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1
Yeah.
million cups.
1 million cups of coffee. Yeah, I used to. There was a Tacoma group here that the folks at the there were 3 really energetic folks who worked at the University of Washington campus. They got it up and running, ran it for a year, wanted someone to take it over from them, and no one stepped up. So it just kind of died. But again, it's one of those things that you don't pay for, and you know what happens when you don't pay for something, no one values it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't that way. I mean, I like free stuff, and I mean, I definitely take an interest in things that I think are going to help my business, regardless of whether or not I'm paying for them. But yeah, to get other people involved, it seems like that's the only way to really get people to be serious.
Lord knows I was doing a lot of networking here in town, and it seemed like every free networking group was filled with insurance salesmen and investment brokers.
Oh, really?
That tend to be the majority of them.
For me, it was business lawyers, especially like trademark and patent attorneys, because I was always networking with these small businesses, and a lot of them are like people with ideas and stuff that they needed to patent and trademark. So it was that what's that called, the ambulance chasing or whatever, that sort of situation. That and accountants, I'd see a lot of accountants.
Oh yeah, a lot of accountants. Yeah.
The thing that I kind of find annoying is everybody's like a business consultant, and it seems like you can't throw a rock without hitting 5 of them. There's just so many, people who are want to be like. Who's the Tony Robbins? That kind of thing. It's just like, I help advise businesses to, achieve their dreams. It's some version of that.
Yeah, I mean I went to one once where it was sort of this entrepreneurs group, and it came off kind of like a revival whole thing. Turned me off.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them too. Like you step in and you're like, oh, this is a pyramid scheme. I should leave.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. A lot of people who came to those networking meetings were selling, use this energy stick to,
Yeah.
purify your water. Just shake it up, and
Yep.
the ions will make you feel better. Oh no, here's something that'll leach the toxins out of the bottom of your feet. Or
Oh God.
there was always like a third of the room was those guys,
Yeah.
and a third of the room was real estate guys and insurance salesmen, and the other third were small business peoples like car detailing,
Yeah.
or a guy that does specialty advertising. Now I can understand why he would go to those meetings because get a lot of clients. Now I got work from those meetings, mainly doing small logo bits and character designs, but they weren't Captain Blood Corpuscle, Corpuscle, Puzzle,
Corpuscle?
Corp.
Say what now?
Yeah, I did this little blood cell as a superhero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's some of my finest work, So
And
Well, I definitely realized that I wasn't going to find the type of clients that I was looking for by going to those. I think I still learned a lot, but yeah, I mean, part of the incentive of going to those networking groups is potentially finding clients, right? And yeah, it's just kind of a to give you an idea of like the leads that I got. I got a call from somebody who got my business card, said that he was interested in graphic design, illustration, and comics. And I was like, wow, all three of those. And I think he was just reading my business card. But I was like, so what exactly are you doing? He's like, I'm making a phone app. And I was like, well, can you tell me more? He's like, no. I was like, oh, okay, well, can you, before he even got that far, I was like, yeah, can you just send me an email with the details of the project? And he's like, I don't use email. And so, so when we got on the phone and he told me he wanted to make an app, I was like, you want to make an app, but you don't want to use email? I was like,
It almost sounds like that Rick and Morty episode from the last season.
Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about, but I'll have to check that.
It was the one where Rick has this intern that is this alien who keeps asking people that he want to help work on an app, and Rick literally has a tattoo on the thing's head of "Don't ask him about his app," and inevitably Jerry goes for it.
Well, yeah, I think I might have seen that. I need to double check.
It was probably one of the better ones of the entire season.
Yeah. So anyway, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just go through the spiel with this guy. And I was like, well, ultimately it depends on what kind of copyrights you're looking to buy from me and all that. And he cut me off and he's like, well, I would want all the copyrights since it's my idea. And I was like, that's not how it works. And then I had to spend like 10 minutes explaining to him how copyright is, sold by me to him and all that. And he's like, well, I need to look into this. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I was like, okay, well, I'm probably not interested in your product anyway. So, best of luck. I hope you find somebody who can help you. And then he texted me like 2 days later and he's like, hey, Ian, I'm still interested in having you work on this. And I was like, really? Like I didn't respond that way, but I was like, what, I'm still not interested. Best of luck. But, just guys who you kind of have to educate on like what it is you do and how you make your money is just like, that's just a bad sign. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to charge like $1,500 for a logo for that guy. So
I don't know. I like just hitting them with sticker shock right off the top.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
And one of the things I do is I say, okay, I don't want to be insulting, but I can tell by the look in your eye that you have basically a slush fund budget. You've got between $500 and $800 kicking around in your in your wallet, and you think, okay, that's the amount of money I can put towards this. I said, I'm not a slush fund bucket guy. I'm going to be building your brand here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a figure. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
And then we can talk, you know. But I was finding that most of the time when I was hitting those companies, they were sole proprietorships or just, it wasn't large enough. I want mid-sized corporations. You know how in the group you work on your elevator pitch. It's like Toastmasters,
Sure.
but for networking. And you
Yeah,
find
yeah.
people in these groups that will actually educate you on the best way to present yourself. And I found one of those groups, a networking group that actually focused in on that aspect of it. And I found that really helpful. I almost got a project through one of them when they decided to do a rebranding, but they got sticker shock.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've talked in the past about how you overcome sticker shock with the monthly payment thing, right? Is that
Right.
how does that kind of
I've been-
conversation go? Where, I mean, are you like, well, this is the price, and then you see them like freak out, and you're like, well, you know, how do you feel about this a month? Like, I mean, how does that go?
What I do is I say, this may be a hardship for you if you did it as a 30-day net, but there's alternatives to that.
Right.
And then I say, I offer payment plans, and that's all you need to do up front before you go in and start negotiating big projects. They'll come back to you
Okay.
if they're interested. But I like to put that out there. Like when I did this book project I'm working on, I said, okay, here's the full rights buyout, but that might be uncomfortable. If you like, here is what I would consider to be the minimum you would need for this particular project as far as purchasing rights. But you know, he did a side-by-side comparison. He says, no, my gut says I need the full rights. So I went, okay. I was keeping it, and I think by him knowing that there could be flexibility later on the payment schedule, that might have helped. But we haven't really talked about that. Right now, it's still 30-day net. So we'll come to that bridge. He and I have a really good, easy working relationship right now. I'm not stressing out about it because, you know, it's up to him to raise the topic with me and say, let's get that squared away. But I told him, you know, when I did talk to him, I gave him a figure about how much a month I would expect. And I think he was happy with that.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's still such a mystery to me, like how to land a new client and you know, suggest a price that's fair for me, and
yeah,
still working on it.
I would go with the strongest, biggest price right off the top.
Yeah, because you're going to get negotiated down, right?
Yeah, you're going to get negotiated down.
Yeah.
And while I'm not as good a haggler as Mark is, so one thing I've learned quickly is that price tag gets through a whole lot of the bullshit.
Yeah, I was talking to my branding mastermind group because I'm redesigning Castruita.com to be more of a sales funnel, right? Like right now it's just a portfolio. And I was like, I just want to put up my prices, and that way it's already kind of filtering the people who aren't in the right mindset to hire me. And they gave me some good.
What did they say to that? Because I'm against putting up prices.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So they had suggestions on how to refine it and stuff. There was some confusion about the way I put it together, but basically, what I wanted to do was say to hire me at a minimum, and I heard this from somebody else when I went to a conference. My minimum level of engagement is the term. It is this amount, and I said, well, my minimum level of engagement for projects is going to be $1,500, and for retainers is $4,000, and that's what that's
No,
basically.
that's good. Saying what your project minimum is, I totally agree with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was going to do that, and then right next to it, I was going to say my hourly is for limited rights, $150 an hour. For full rights, $200 an hour, and that's all I was going to put. And yeah, like I said, there was some confusion about whether or not that was actually a deposit or the actual minimum for the project, and so I understood that, and I need to put that in there. But yeah, that's the plan, and I mean that's only one part of the plan. Obviously, like I actually need to get people to go visit my website, right? And so I need to find ways to push people there, and that kind of harkens back to what Bill and I were talking about, SEO and all that stuff. But
yeah, it's a good idea to go to one of those groups. Well, I haven't been going to it since the COVID, but
since the COVID,
yeah, the one that I've been attending is Seattle Search Group, and
Okay.
I'm sure there's a similar one in Phoenix.
Well, we
Yeah,
can
I'm
talk
sure.
about additional groups next time, because believe it or not, a full hour has passed.
Oh,
You've been enjoying Epic Sketch Time. I hope this has been fun for all of you viewers, and I promise to see about getting this and other episodes up with actual descriptions in the doobly-doo. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Oh,
all right.
Bill, will you hang on? I need to talk to you.
Okay.